Welcome everyone to Follow the Light Music Review. My name is John De Laurentiis, and this is episode 3 of a limited series where I am spotlighting in the month of February on Fridays a Girder Music release. So today's one is going to be one that you may not have heard of, a band you may not have heard of, an album you may not be aware of, but it's one I think you need to be aware of. It's a great release, and we're going to get into it in a minute. But before we do, I would like to please encourage you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, because commenting will give you a chance to win one of 2 copies that I'll be giving away when I choose 2 people in the comments. And also ring the bell for notifications so you keep up to date with all the content that's coming onto the channel. All right, so let's get started. So the band, who is it? LARM-Killing Time. And this is a great Swedish rock band that's kind of a collective, almost like a supergroup of great Swedish musicians, all coming together to put together this fantastic album. And 2 of the members on here, specifically, you have probably heard of the bands that they came from. The first one being Anders Mossberg, who comes from the band Jerusalem. Of course, made several albums starting in the late 70s into the 80s and up until the current day, still putting out albums. And that is Jerusalem. And of course, the other one on here is that you would be aware of is Simon Adahl. So if you remember Edin-Adahl, who released a bunch of albums in the 1980s into the 1990s, he's also on here as well. So, and I'll go over the rest of the specific members in a minute, but I just want to go through the release here so you can see it. Okay, so there's the booklet back, and in true Girder treatment fashion, you get a nice booklet with the lyrics spread out so you can read them and follow along as you're listening to this great album. And then you have this kind of motif of pictures of guitars, fretboards here. So you know this is a guitar-based album. Another one there. See how these lyrics are nice and spread out. Another guitar fretboard. And on the last 2 pages here, you see a picture of the band. Okay, and then in the back it has that song listing again. So let's look at who is on this. So as I mentioned, Simon Adahl from Edin-Adahl, vocalist, background vocalist, and then we have Orhan Armgren on vocals and backup vocals. We have Andy Nordlander, who plays the drums. We have Patrick Walland on electric guitars. We have Johnny Lennartsson on lead guitars on a few tracks on here. We have Anders Mossberg, who I mentioned before, from the band Jerusalem, playing bass, vocals, backup vocals, harmonica, electrified, and acoustic guitars. We have Dane Tibel on harmonica, not harmonica, Hammond organ and keyboards, and Annika Blumfeld on cellos, violins, and strings. Okay, so this is the supergroup of Swedish musicians on here. And this is a great album. It features 2 songs that you may have heard before. The first one is I'm Waiting for You, which is a remake of an Edin-Adahl song that was on the X Factor album by them in the 80s. That album came out. And there's also a version of a song called Flower, which is an Ulf Christensen, the primary vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter for Jerusalem. That appeared on Jerusalem's Volume 2 album. That ends this album here. It's a beautiful ballad. There's another beautiful ballad on here called End That Way, which has this beautiful emotional guitar solo in it. But the album starts off in a rocking, golden words, kind of like a classic sound of electric guitars and Hammond organ, making you think of maybe Deep Purple. like really good classic rock on here. There's some bluesy type songs on here, like Killing Time Season is one. And just some really, really good, throughout the entire album, there's some really, really strong songs on here. There's two on here, Home Again and Jerusalem, that kind of remind me of Ian Hunter and Mott the Hoople, kind of that kind of a vibe, if you're familiar with those classic rock artists. And again, just a fantastic rock album, LARM. And I wanted to spotlight this one and give you a chance to win this CD by commenting. Like I said, there'll be two people that will be chosen from among the comments that will receive a free copy of this CD from Girder Music. All right. So again, I'd like to thank you for watching. And again, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment so you have a chance to win one of the two copies that I'll be giving out. Ring the bell for notifications. And I appreciate you. And I encourage you, as always, to follow the light that shines out of the darkness. God bless everyone.